Hi, this is Linda with BloomBakeCreate.com, and I wanted to show you a little bit about Gelli printing, and specifically my favorite, the ghost print, or the second print. If you've ever done this, you know how fun it is. But what I'm doing is I'm doing the printing on fabric, so I'm using fabric textile paint. Of course, you can do this on paper too. So one of the keys I've found is not to use a lot of paint. The more paint, the muddier the design. So anyway, now I've got enough paint on there, and I'm putting on my stencil masks that I made, and I blogged about this recently, about these designs that I cut out. And I've just placed them in different places on the top of my Gelli pad, looking for the perfect place for all of them. And once I'm done, I'll wipe my hands off because I don't want to get my fabric all messed up. And I place the fabric over the Gelli pad and just take my hands and rub it down there. And then I have a brayer that I don't use ink on or paint on, and I brayer over the back. And if you look, eventually you could see the design coming through, so I know I'm getting a good print. And then we'll take that off, and we've got our very first print, which is a nice print. But that's what I used to, that's all I did was that print. But I really like this next one. And this is where we'll be taking those masks off. So I'm taking the mask off, and I do wear gloves because, especially when you're doing this, or I'd have paint all over my hands. Be careful so you don't mess up the design. And again, I have to wipe off my hands, or I'd have paint all over my fabric. And this is the second print, or the ghost print. I like to rub it down. Again, be sure it's all straightened. And then I spend a little time on this, a little bit more time, because there's not as much paint left, and I want to be sure I get a really good image on my fabric. So now it's time to peel it back, and there it is. So you see on the original, we'll go back to the original, there's the ghost, or the second print. The original print, the image is in white because the stencil is still laying on the pad, and the ghost, and my favorite, is the image is in blue with just a shading of background. And here this gives you a little bit better view of both pieces. It's the original first print and the second print. That's all there is to it. So glad you came by and checked this out, and please drop by BloomBakeCreate.com for more tutorials and more art fun.